Ben Carter was a quiet man. He lived alone on a dusty ranch at the edge of the Arizona plains. Once his land had been full of live cattle, crops, and laughter, but that was many years ago. His wife and young son had died from a fever, and after that, Ben stopped talking to people. He didn't smile, didn't travel, and didn't hope. His ranch had gone dry. The grass barely grew, and his cattle had either died or wandered off. He spent most days sitting on his porch, watching the sky, wondering why he was still alive. Then one evening, something strange happened. There was a soft knock on the door. Ben wasn't expecting anyone. He stood slowly, his old bones aching, and opened the door. A girl stood there, native, maybe 16 or 17. Her long dark hair was messy, her face covered in dust. She wore a thin, torn deerskin dress and held a small leather pouch close to her chest. Her bare feet were bleeding. "Please," she whispered, her voice shaking, "I need help." Ben didn't speak at first. He just looked at her, this small, scared girl alone in the middle of nowhere. He could have closed the door and turned her away. But he didn't. He stepped aside and nodded. She walked in without a word, sat near the fire, and hugged the pouch tightly. Ben gave her bread and warm water. She ate slowly, as if she hadn't had food in days. Still, she said nothing, not even her name. That night, Ben lay awake in bed, staring at the ceiling. He kept thinking about her. Who was she? Why was she alone? Was someone looking for her? Outside, the wind howled across the dry land. Inside, the fire crackled quietly. The girl slept near it, curled up like a small animal, still holding that pouch. When morning came, Ben put on his boots and stepped outside. He planned to check the fields again, though he didn't expect much. The land hadn't given him anything in years. But what he saw made him stop in his tracks. A huge herd of wild horses stood just beyond the fence. Dozens of them, strong, healthy, calm, grazing like they belonged there. Ben blinked and rubbed his eyes. Was this real? He hadn't seen that many horses in one place since his youth. Just then, the girl came outside. She stood beside him and looked at the herd. "They came for you," she said softly. Ben turned to her, confused. "Why?" "Because you showed kindness," she answered. Ben stared at her. For a moment, she didn't look like a scared girl anymore. There was something powerful in her eyes. Something old. Something sacred. And in that moment, Ben felt something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. Ben Carter stood beside the girl, still staring at the wild horses. The sun was rising behind them, casting golden light across the land. The herd grazed peacefully as if they had always belonged there. "They came because of me?" Ben asked slowly, still unsure if he was dreaming. "No," the girl said gently. "They came because of you. You opened your door when you didn't have to. You gave help without asking anything back." Ben didn't know what to say. He looked again at the herd. These horses were strong and beautiful. If he sold just a few, he could buy feed, fix his fences, maybe even rebuild the barn. He turned to the girl. "Who are you?" The girl looked at him, her dark eyes calm and deep. "My name is Aylin," she said. "I belong to the wind, the river, and the old stories." Ben blinked. Her voice sounded older, now wiser. She looked like a girl, but something in her presence felt ancient. Aylin walked toward the horses. They didn't move away. In fact, a few walked toward her, nuzzling her gently like she was one of them. Ben followed slowly, amazed. Are you some kind of spirit?" Aylin smiled. "Some call it that. Others say I am a blessing. Maybe I am just a reminder." "A reminder of what?" "That the land still listens," she said. "And it remembers kindness." Ben felt something tighten in his chest. He had spent so many years alone, bitter, silent. And yet this girl, this stranger, had brought back what he thought he'd lost forever. Connection, purpose, and hope. She reached into her small pouch and pulled out a smooth white stone. She placed it in Ben's hand. "Keep this," she said. "As long as you carry it, the herd will return to your land each spring, but treat them well. Do not take more than you need." Ben nodded, overwhelmed. "I promise." Aylin stepped back, her bare feet touching the earth gently. The wind picked up around her, swirling dust and grass. When Ben blinked again, she was gone. He searched the area, called out her name, but she had vanished without a trace. Only the hoofprints of the wild horses remained. Days passed. The herd stayed. Ben began to care for them, slowly rebuilding his ranch with their help. He sold a few horses to nearby towns, but never too many. Word spread about his sudden fortune, but Ben never spoke of Aylin. Some said it was luck. Others said he'd made a deal with the spirits. But every spring, just like she said, the herd returned strong, calm, and loyal. Ben lived out the rest of his years with new purpose. He wasn't rich, but he was never alone again. The land had forgiven him, and the past had finally let go. And in a small wooden box by his bed, Ben kept the white stone. He would often look at it before sleep, smile softly, and whisper, "Thank you, Aylin.